Announcing the commencement of the first purge.
I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags, and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Just remember all the good the purge does.
Good morning, everyone. It's July 15th, 2018. I'm Eric. This is a page, or 2 pages, from the Internment and Resettlement Operations Manual from the United States Army. And I said in my last video that I would do a video regarding rescuing children and, well, anyone you choose to rescue from one of these facilities. And the reason is that at some point they're going to begin using these facilities on American citizens. This is the facility designs and sustainment considerations. If we look at the key here, single or dotted dashes is a single barbed wire fence with obscurant. A dotted line is just a single barbed wire fence. A solid thick line, double barbed wire fence. 2 dashed lines running parallel to each other is a road. What is that? Hexagon is a manned sally part, rather. A square or a rectangle with white inside, gray outside is mounted patrol. A star is a guard tower, right? And then the acronyms: admin, of course, is administration. DC is dislocated civilian. QRF is quick reaction force. REFR, refrigeration, and temperature. So 980 yards across. What is that? 507 up and down. So these facilities, they have multiple guard towers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 here, 4 here, 1 here, 2 here, and then of course we have them outside along the perimeter here. See, in each corner and in between each corner. They have very, very detailed plans. Okay? And you don't take the time to, number one, build these things. Time, money. And you don't take the time to make such detailed plans and not use them. So, when you're looking at a place like this, we could use a Walmart or office building. We have to make many considerations when considering how we're going to rescue our children or a high-value resistance leader. I did this video a few days ago, but I didn't upload it for a variety of reasons, but this one will be uploaded. So, we want to know everything we can possibly know about these places, and in particular of the target place. You want to know how many men are inside that, their guards, the quick reaction force people. We want to know who the nurses are, how many of them. We want to know how many people. We want to know as much information on everything about this place. You want to know the entrances, the exits. You want to know everything. So what do? Well, let's say that shit has hit the fan and you're in a group of about 500 people. About 300 of which are men. The other 200 are women and children. So, how many of those men are combat capable? We'll say, for the sake of argument today in this video, that 200 of those men are combat capable and the other 100 are support. So you have 200 men at your disposal to rescue whoever you want out of one of these places. Then you take about 5 of those 200 men and you send them ahead. Send them ahead, that way they can do recon and get a fully detailed picture of what needs to be done. And after a period of time, could be a day, I recommend a longer observation period than that, but a day, it could be a week, it could be more. They come back to your camp with all the information, and they lay out, how many people, when shift changes occur, when mealtime, all that stuff. We want to know everything. And then from there, you formulate a plan. I don't recommend only one person being responsible for making the plan. I recommend that you use at least 5 people for the planning phase. And the reason I recommend that is because one person, something may slip their mind. They might forget to add a detail. So we need continuity of information in these plans. We need for everyone involved in the planning to be thinking about what's being laid out. And the reason being, it's better to have a fully formulated plan and to know exactly what you're going to do, as opposed to having a partially formulated plan and surprises being springing up. So you get your recon, you create your plan, you find that there's a front door, there's side exits, and you find that there are roll-up garage doors in the back for supplies, and you find another back door. So you have doors on this side, doors on this side, doors in the front, door in the back, along with the garage doors. You have, what, 200 men. 200 men to execute this operation. Of those 200 men, you would want at least, well, no, 15, 20 overwatchers, snipers. And of course, you put these guys if possible, and this is something else that's got to be considered, is your terrain. Is it in the middle of the city, or on the outskirts where it's surrounded by a wooded area or hills or other structures? All these things must be thought of beforehand. So, let's say for the sake of argument that this place is in the middle of a city. I chose the harder scenario here. In the middle of the city, and it's surrounded by, decent-sized buildings, tall buildings. You take your Overwatch people, your snipers, and you want to do the best you can in creating sort of a U-shape around the area. And the reason this is because you have this line of fire. These guys can shoot straight out this way, not hit any of your men over here. These guys can shoot that way, and without even coming close to hitting or having friendly fire kill somebody. And they can see everything, that's going on the outside. And then you divide your other men up. You stack some of the men along the front of the building. You stack some of the men on the side entrances or exits. And then you stack them at each door in the rear. As you can see, this is a hallway. This too, right here, all hallway. You breach it, and then you find your way into the living quarters of the place. And then, of course, if they're a high-value resistance leader, They will be in this section, the maximum security section. And they made a mistake, by the way, in this legend here. They have temp as temperature, but what it really is temporary. And I didn't see that at first. So, so you, let's say you get in there, you breach this door here, you breach the front door, and you're met with the, what was it called? The Quick Reaction Force. Now, before you go inside, before you go through the breached entrance, you're going to have your guys, your overwatchers, take out each of these guard towers. And I would say that should occur simultaneously to the breach itself. That's why I say you need to have, 15, 20 of these guys out here, because, again, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 guard towers. So you need a minimum of 15 overwatchers, snipers. So when you breach, each of those snipers takes the guard towers. Maybe I missed these two here, so there might be even more than 15. Guard towers out of the way, then it is your job to take out the Quick Reaction Force. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that they come running down this corridor here from both sides. Well, you're going to have to knock these guys out, and then, of course, you have the long, straight corridor here, or whatever you want to call it, and they come from these, got to take them out. Now, if you're there to rescue one person or a family, I do recommend that you release everybody in the facility. Don't leave people in these places if you can help it. And it gives the number of people you should expect right here in this diagram. It says 2-person mounted patrol, 1 per 1,000 person enclosure. 2-person guard teams to guard food preparation. 4 2-person compound guard patrols, 1 per compound. 4 2-person compound guard patrols, 1 per compound. It gives very good detail of what you should expect. Again, at this point, we really have nothing to lose, so there's no reason to not do something like this. Especially if your children and your wife or some other important person in your life or to the resistance is in there. Now, So we're looking at roughly, what, about 100 guys, I would say. Okay? 100 people guarding this place. Should not be a problem for 200 men. And that's what you should do. You should be considering every angle you can think of. Are there skylights? All that stuff. What kind of weapons are they using? What kind of weapons do you have? And let's say, for the sake of argument, you have a successful exfiltration. Before you leave such a compound, this is where the 100-man support team comes in. These places will have lots of food. It will have guns, ammo, vehicles, and medical supplies. So you call in your support team and you take everything that's in that camp, and anything you cannot take, you destroy. You make sure that this camp, this compound, whatever you want to call it, is unusable afterward. Okay? That's very important. Very important. You destroy everything in that camp that cannot be taken by your team. And I know there's some statists out there probably will see this, and that's theft, that's this, that, or the other. But look, these times are coming. They have guillotines. The Affordable Care Act has a provision for the use of guillotines. The National Defense Resources Preparedness Act has a provision for literal slavery. So no other response would be effective or rational. And this is just a nutshell here. I do plan on making a far more detailed video about this, but for today, we're just talking about a nutshell plan, and I cannot tell you how important it is for you to be thinking about these things now, so that you have some sort of idea what you might do in the future. A lot of people aren't going to have 500 people. They may have 20. They may have 10. And in each of these instances, you have to think of how you can defeat the people inside these places. If you're a smaller force, then you're probably going to have to take your time and knock out each one of those guard towers one at a time, and without drawing attention. How do you do that? Who knows until you're there? That's why I recommend you have silent weapons such as crossbows, compound bows, knives, swords. The days are coming, people, and if you don't believe me, just look at what happened after the hurricane hit Texas with the FEMA barges. You know that guy in that video wasn't lying. You know that stuff was going on. You know that people disappeared, never to be seen again. Do you want that for your family? Do you want that for yourself? I would really hope not. So think of these things now while you can. I'm going to hit this paragraph and then end it. U.S. Military Prisoner Internment Facility, J7, or J-7. The facility for U.S. military prisoners or non-compliant detainees contains up to 3 100-person enclosures, each with an administrative area. The enclosures will be of a semi-permanent construction. All 3 enclosures may be constructed with individual cells, depending on the aggressiveness of the prisoner population. The decision on the type of enclosure required is driven by mission variables and is the responsibility of the facility commander. The facility is designed to be expandable in 100-person increments. The initial facility is constructed with an administrative area and 1 100-person enclosure. The facility can then be expanded by adding a maximum of 2 additional 100-person enclosures. Each 100-person enclosure must be self-contained with electrical and water capabilities and must be available for occupancy immediately upon completion. You cannot tell me with a straight face that these people don't have nefarious intentions. Anyway, thought I would share my thoughts on this with you. I hope you all have a good day. And remember, kill the state before the state kills you.
I'll keep my head up, and you will end this.
I'm just getting warmed up. This is Von Clausewitz shit. Total fucking war. I'm gonna pull the whole thing down. I'm gonna bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gonna be biblical.